How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we have a new team. It's a Floatzel team. If you want to use the team, use the code at the top right corner of the screen. And please like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Okay, we're going against Eclipse from the Discord server. Go ahead and join the Discord server. It's the best place to go for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles. Okay, looking at his team, he's got a very dragon-oriented team. He's got the Roaring Moon, the Cyclizar, and the Garchomp, and then he's got the Steel types as well. So it's a bit of a drag mag team, which is awesome. That's a bit of a throwback to Gen 4 and 5 right there. I think I lead off with Ting-Lu because it matches up really well against their entire team. Oh, no, they probably lead off with Rotom, right? So we could lead off with something else to try and throw off the Rotom. Maybe we could lead off with something else, but no, I'm more inclined to get the Stealth Rocks up, to be honest with you. And the battle begins. So my opponent Eclipse is going to lead off with Titanic Clad, which is the Scizor, as we lead off with GOHT, the Ting-Lu. So this is not the best matchup in the world because obviously Scizor is going to go for its U-turn and it's going to hurt. But it's fine. We can handle it. We'll go into our Corviknight real quick, get some Rocky Helmet damage off on the Scizor, which is always nice, as they probably then U-turn into the Rotom. So Corviknight's in a bit. We've lost some momentum from the get-go, but I'm sure we can pick it back up later on down the line somehow. So they go for the U-turn, which is of course going to do minimal damage to the Corviknight, but we do get the Rocky Helmet damage off. It gets a crit as well. Rocky Helmet damage off as well on the Scizor, which is always nice. They're going to go back probably into the Rotom, I would say, or the Gholdengo. Gholdengo basically walls us, and so does Rotom, so either one could be fine. In comes the Garchomp. So Garchomp's obviously using this as an opportunity to go for Stealth Rocks and Spikes and stuff. So I'm going to go for a U-turn on it, and I'm going to try and get out into something else that can handle it. They're going to go for a Stealth Rocks as expected. Absolutely fine. We can just U-turn out into our Floatzel now and go for an Ice Spinner on this thing. Ice Spinner doesn't clear away hazards, unfortunately, which it should do because it's a spinning move. But, you know, that'd just be one more spinning move in this game because they already added Mortal Spin, Tidy Up, stuff like that. So it's like, whatever. We don't need more spinning moves, I don't think. So I could go into Sirknight here. Sirknight has a switch in being Scizor, and then Bullet Punch can come through, and they also have the Gholdengo. Floatzel, on the other hand, has Rotom. So we'll go into Floatzel real quick. There we go. Nice and powerful. And we just go straight for the Ice Spinner. I see no reason not to. I am Tera Grass for the defensive purposes of being able to withstand an attack from the Rotom if I need to. But probably won't ever have to do that. So maybe it's a waste. Maybe I should have just gone with Tera Water. But they go into Jigsaw, which is of course the Rotom. It's going to take some nice chip damage from an Ice Spinner, which is great. There we go. Lovely done. We do see leftovers, which is interesting, so that's fine. We're probably going to see a Volt Switch right now, but it's absolutely fine. I'm going to go ahead and switch out. I'm going to go into my Ting-Lu. Or do I go into Ting-Lu? Do they try and Will-O-Wisp us here? Should we Taunt? I don't want my Ting-Lu to be burned. They might just go for a Hydro Pump expecting the Ting-Lu, to be fair. I'll go into Ting-Lu anyway. So obviously it's a Vessel of Ruin ability, lowers a special attack, and with leftovers on this Rotom, it's probably a defensive one, so we should be able to sponge a Hydro Pump no problem, as Stones are going to dig in, but it's absolutely fine. They go for what? What did they go for? Will-O-Wisp? I should have gone for a Taunt. Really should have gone for a Taunt, so that's a shame. We got burned. But Earthquake wasn't really doing too much for us this game anyway. They only really have the Gholdengo, which we could have Earthquaked for chip damage, which is absolutely fine. This gives us a free opportunity to go for a Stealth Rock though, which is great. They do have a Rapid Spinner in the Cyclizar, but we have got a Rapid Spin blocker in the Skeledirge, so that's absolutely fine. It gives us a free switch in at some point down the line. So I'm going to go for a Stealth Rocks now, because why not? They are going to withdraw the Rotom, just straight up withdraw it, no Hydro Pumps or anything like that, and they're going to go into Garchomp. So Garchomp's probably going to be wanting to set up Spikes now, which is fine. You can do that all at once. Stealth Rock's going to come through, and I'm just going to stay in and go for a Spikes here. They might go for a Dragon Tail, or they might go for a Spikes of their own. I don't really know what Garchomp likes to do typically. I usually see Earthquake, Dragon Tail, Spikes, Stealth Rocks, or, you know, sometimes you'll see an offensive Garchomp, but usually you see a bulky Garchomp, so we'll go for Spikes anyway. They're probably doing the same thing, stacking up hazards real quick. The Garchomp goes for the Spikes, so we're just going to exchange some hazards for a little bit, so that's absolutely fine. We go for the Spikes, of course, that's going to be great. Knowing they're going to go for a Spikes again, we could switch out. We know this is a bulky Garchomp, so we can outspeed it with a Haxorus. The reason I know it's a bulky Garchomp is because it's setting up hazards. Typically they're bulky, but I mean, he could be max speed for all I know, to be fair, with hazards. I doubt it though. Let's go for another spikes anyway. There we go for another spikes real quick, and then after we've set up a third layer of spikes, we'll go for a whirlwind, because this is all the Garchomp's going to be doing, is going for the Dragon Tail now. Interesting. So it doesn't want to set up all the spikes yet. Just sets up one layer and then goes for a Dragon Tail. So that's interesting. What we're going to be brought into, Skeledirge. So that's not the best situation for us to be in, to be fair. So we probably have to switch out here, is what I would say. But I don't think we do. I think we terrestrialize Fairy here and we take this Garchomp out. What do you think? I think we go for that, because they can go in. They're not going to bring Scizor or Gholdengo in on a Skeledirge for a start. They probably want to get another layer of spikes up potentially. So I think I go for Tera Blast Fairy here, as they do stay in, which is great, which means we're going to be able to get the KO on the Garchomp, which is going to be perfect for us. Absolutely perfect. Hopefully we can get the KO anyway, hopefully. We are max attack, max special attack, sorry, max HP. We can definitely sponge a hit from the Garchomp if it wants to go for an Earthquake or something. As it goes for another layer of spikes, that's absolutely fine. Again, if it gets too much with the hazards, we can always just defog them away. I'd rather not do that, but it is what it is. So they go for a Tera Blast. There we go. Take out the Garchomp, hopefully. It lives. Barely. Barely lives. Barely lives. So now we can expect a Gholdengo or a Scizor switch in, and I'm going to go straight for a Shadow Ball. They go for another layer of spikes. That's fine. They've got 3 layers up now. We'll have to deal with that somehow, as we go for a Shadow Ball and take it out. I went for Shadow Ball just because it's safer, because obviously the Gholdengo or the Scizor could have come in there. Would have done a bit more damage to them than Tera Blast would. So Garchomp's gone, but it did what it had to do. It set up the hazards. Titanic Clad, he comes in. Now, unfortunately, we did lose our spin blocker by terrestrializing, but we can probably make do somehow. So this thing's going to go for a Bullet Punch on us. If it's Choice Band, it'll definitely KO us. I'm going to go into Corviknight real quick and just... They could also defog. They could also defog. I doubt they would after letting their Garchomp go down. I doubt they would defog, because it would obviously clear away the hazards on our side of the field. I think the Rapid Spinner is going to be the Cyclizar later on down the line. So that's absolutely fine. They go for... What are they going to go for? A U-turn here or a Bullet Punch? Straight for the kill. They go straight for the kill with a Bullet Punch. It's going to do minimal damage to us, as Rocky Helmet's going to do some damage to them, which is great. So we'll go for a Roost now. They're going to withdraw. And they're going to go into what? Cyclizar? Gholdengo? Gholdengo to... Oh, yeah, because of the defog potential. But no, I went for the Roost. I wasn't trying to play around with no defog when there's a Gholdengo on the other side of the field. Like, Gholdengo is always switching on defogs. Absolutely fine. Fine play on my opponent's part there. I'm going to go into Ting-Lu, because we can definitely eat a hit from this Gholdengo, no problem. Depending on the set that it is. If it's Choice Specs, it might hurt a bit, but we should be alright. So we'll go into our Ting-Lu real quick. There we go. Nicely done, nicely done. Get some spikes and Stealth Rock damage dug into us, which is a real shame. As we're going to lower their special attack as well, which is great. So they go for a Shadow Ball. Hopefully that means they're locked into Shadow Ball. That'd be ideal. Hopefully that means they're locked into Shadow Ball. That would be ideal, but it might not. So even though I know Whirlwind doesn't affect Gholdengo, I'm expecting them to switch here into something to take on the Ting-Lu, or something to take an Earthquake. So I'm thinking Rotom comes in here. So I'm going to go for a Whirlwind anyway. If they go for Make It Rain to try and KO us, so be it. We'll just have to buy our phone. They're going to withdraw the Gholdengo. Cool. They don't want to take an Earthquake. They're probably going to go into Jigsaw, which is the Rotom. That's absolutely fine. Get some Stealth Rock damage on it, and then we're just going to Whirlwind it away, which is great. So Whirlwinding away the Rotom's absolutely fine. There we go. Down it goes. And hopefully we get something good here. That, like, maybe not the Scizor, but the Gholdengo again, potentially. Scizor comes in, so that's a shame, because now it gets the U-turn on us. But it is going to get some Stealth Rocks and Spikes in, and it's going to take it right down to red, which is great. So now Scizor kind of can't switch in again. If they have Defog, they have Defog. If they don't, they don't. At the end of the day, it's fine. They probably go for a U-turn here, which is absolutely fine. Getting the Rocky Helmet damage off on the U-turn is going to be great. So there we go. GOHT's going to come back. And we're going to bring in the old Corviknight over here. There we go. Nicely done. Stealth Rocks are going to dig in, which is a real shame. But if they go for a U-turn here, the Rocky Helmet, I believe, takes it out. They go for a Bullet Punch. Interesting. So they were expecting something else to come in there, clearly. As the Rocky Helmet is going to be able to take out the Scizor, which is absolutely amazing. So Scizor goes down. Slowly chipping away each other's team. It looks like we're winning at this point, but this could easily be changed. They could turn the tides, no problem. So in comes Gholdengo now. Gholdengo's Shadow Ball is going to hurt like a truck. They probably go for a Make It Rain, expecting the Ting-Lu to come in. But that makes me want to go for a Roost here. Because if they're going to go for a Focus Blast, expecting them in the Ting-Lu, that's fair enough. So that's fine. We're going to go for a Roost real quick, get some health back. And now that we know that they're locked into Focus Blast, they either switch out here, because we can just go into our Ting... Well, no. We could go into... No, we don't want to go into that. We don't want to go into that. We don't want to go into that. I say we go into Ting-Lu and just sack it off. I was going to say we could go into our Skeledirge because it's Fairy type, but we don't want to do that because we still don't know for sure the specs. We still don't know for sure the specs slash Scarfed. So we'll go into GOHT and we'll get it to take us out. We knew it was time something happened with this. So they go for a Focus Blast. They do connect it. That's going to take out GOHT, obviously, because we had like no HP left. But it's absolutely fine. As now we can go into something else to revenge kill this Gholdengo. Now, knowing they're probably locked in, I'm inclined to go into Skeledirge and go for a Tera Blast. I think that's probably the best play. So we'll go into Skeledirge. Unfortunately, we are going to get some Stealth Rocks and Spikes damage on us. But we can definitely take a Focus Blast from this range. Whether they want to stay in to test that theory, I don't know. I'm going to go for a Torch Song. Now, I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball just in case we see a Rotom come in. I don't think they would bring Rotom in, but just in case. They do withdraw. Are they going to go into Cyclizar now? Jigsaw. The Rotom comes in. Okay, cool. Perfect. So it's coming in expecting like a fire type move, which is absolutely fine. We go for the Shadow Ball. It should do a decent chunk of damage to them. Does do a decent chunk of damage to them, which is always nice. So that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go for a Slack Off just on the off chance they don't attack us and they go for something like a Will-O-Wisp. That would be ideal. They go for a Volt Switch. Can we take that? We don't unfortunately take that as we're going to lose our Skeledirge. So that's absolutely fine. We couldn't switch out because we wouldn't be able to switch back in again later on unless we defog, but we can't defog while the Gholdengo is still there. So this way at least we get momentum on whatever they want to bring in. Gholdengo comes in. Absolutely fine. It's going to get some Stealth Rocks and Spikes damage, which is just great. There we go. As now we get to go into whatever we want, really. I'm going to go into our Floatzel because that damage that the Focus Blast did to Corviknight... No. If it's Scarf, it doesn't KO us with Shadow Ball anyway, so we can go into Floatzel, no problem here. As we can go for a Wave Crash. It should hurt the Rotom, which would be nice. They probably switch into the Rotom right now. They're going to withdraw. They're going to go into the Rotom or the Roaring Moon or the Cyclizar, one of the two. They're going to Jigsaw the Rotom. Unfortunately, after Stealth Rocks, he's going to get 2-hit KO'd by a Wave Crash. So that's great for us. It might even get one shot. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't. It gets 2-hit KO'd there, which is great. So with that in mind, we don't need to go for a Wave Crash to KO this thing, I don't think. I think we can KO with Ice Spinner, but I'm going to go for the Wave Crash anyway because I have a feeling that it's going to be it's going to live on 1 HP, so I'm going to go for the Wave Crash and KO it. They go for Protect just to get some more leftovers recovery, which is fine. See that a lot on them. Wave Crash is obviously not going to work this turn. As we can just go for another Wave Crash, I think, safely. Because we don't outspeed the Roaring Moon, unfortunately, I don't think. But we can still bait it to go for a Dragon Dance on us and go for an Ice Spinner again. They're going to go for a double protect, but they do fail. That's what happens when you go for a double protect. As we go for a Wave Crash, should KO from here, as it does, which is great. So that's fantastic. So Rotom goes down. Was a crit, didn't matter. I don't think it mattered. So that's great that we got rid of the Rotom with a Floatzel, for crying out loud. In comes Harley. That's a new one. It's going to be the Cyclizar. So the Cyclizar is probably going to want to go for a Rapid Spin right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for an Ice Spinner just to try and counteract that. They do go for a Shed Tail instead, which is fair enough. They're trying to get a free switch in with the Goldengo, I think, so that makes sense. But luckily, this is a good opportunity for us, because if we can get rid of the Goldengo, if we can somehow get rid of the Goldengo, Albalinitas. Interesting name. So it's going to get thrown behind a substitute, which is absolutely fine. Is it going to be Booster Energy? It's going to be Booster Energy. Okay, Booster Energy is fine. Is that going to boost its attack or speed? Attack was heightened, so that's fine. I'd rather that. I'd rather that, as the Ice Spinner should take out the substitute, no problem. There we go. There we go. Substitute takes out by the Ice Spinner, which is great. This stops it from going for a Dragon Dance because they have to go for the KO here on the Floatzel. I'm going to go straight for the Ice Spinner. I have no problem with that whatsoever. As they're actually going to Terastallize, so we finally see their Terastallization. What are they going to Terastallize into? A Dark type, potentially, or a Flying type? Is it going to be the Flying type Acrobatics set? It is the Flying type Acrobatics set, so that's interesting. So it's Proto-Synthesized, it's got the Flying type Acrobatics going on. Goes ahead and goes for the KO, which is absolutely fine by me. There we go, down it goes. Unfortunately, we lost Floatzel there. I guess in hindsight, I could have gone for an Aqua Jet just to get some chip damage off, but it doesn't really matter now. As now, we're stuck. We have to go Corviknight. We go Corviknight, and we go Brave Bird. That's the only way we're going to get around this. Corviknight into Brave Bird. Corviknight into Brave Bird. Because I'm pretty sure Corviknight, physically defensive, can live in Acrobatics. I'm pretty sure it can live a Crunch. Brave Bird should do a lot of damage because it hasn't got the best defense in the world. And then we can come in and finish it off with our Iron Valiant. So they go for the Crunch, which is, of course, not going to KO us. It gets some Rocky Helmet damage, which is great, as we're able to go for a Brave Bird. I guess in hindsight, I should have gone for a Roost there. But looking at that damage from that, pretty good damage. Pretty good damage. So with that in mind, we can go into our Haxorus now and reveal our ace in the hole, which is First Impression. Or we could go into Iron Valiant with Choice Scarf and go for a Thunderbolt. And the reason we go for Thunderbolt is because Goldengo could easily come in. So I'm inclined to do that, because I believe that Goldengo is at the point now where Haxorus's Outrage should be KOing. Should be. So I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt anyway, and we'll get the KO real quick. There we go. Nicely done. Iron Valiant might actually be able to sweep from here, because I'm pretty sure the Cyclizar after Regenerator, when it comes in on the Stealth Rocks and the Rabbit and the Spikes, it should take it down to the point where it can't set up a Shed Tail anymore. Goldengo comes in. Also Choice Scarfed, I'm guessing. But unfortunately for them, we are Choice Scarfed as well. They probably don't realize that because Iron Valiant naturally outspeed the Roaring Moon. But yeah, we're Choice Scarfed. Big reveal. Big reveal right there. As now they can go into the Cyclizar, and the Cyclizar can't really do anything to us. So they're going to go into Harley, the Cyclizar. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go into our Haxorus real quick, because I don't want to Thunderbolt with this thing. I want to be able to, I want to have it for later if we need it for the Moonblast. Just in case they drop a Draco. They won't drop a Draco against an Iron Valiant, but they know we're Choice Scarf. They know that we kind of have to switch out here, so they might go for a Draco. If they do go for the Draco, we can at least come in, be faster, and go for a Moonblast. So we'll go into Batarax real quick. There we go. And we'll get the Mold Breaker up, which is always nice. Knockoff's going to come through, which is fine. Knocks off a Choice Band. As we can now go for a First Impression and KO this thing. Oh, the time ran out on the last turn. The time ran out on the last turn. Well, anyway, First Impression would have definitely KO'd the Cyclizar, so it's no big deal. So, whatever. That was a brilliant game, though. That was brilliant. Thank you, Eclipse, for the battle. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.